Thank you. A regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District will be held Tuesday, August 29th, 2023, beginning at 5 p.m. in the Dr. Ricardo Chapa Boardroom of the Administration Building of the McAllen Independent School District located at 2000 North 23rd Street, McAllen. Items listed on this agenda may be taken in an order other than as shown on this agenda. Unless removed from the consent agenda, items identified within the consent agenda will be acted on at one time. At this meeting, there may be discussion and action by the board on the items and subjects listed as follows. Item number 1, call the meeting to order. I have done so at 5:01 p.m. Item number 2, the invocation will be done by Trustee Saldivar.
Please rise. Loving Father, as we gather at this day, we pray for your guidance. Help us to work to the best of our abilities so that all in our care will reach their full potential. May we treat all with respect and kindness. May our decisions be based on careful consideration and wise choices. Help us to make this school district a community to be proud of, where people feel included and welcome. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Item number 4 is public comments.
The school board encourages public comments at all board meetings. According to Board Policy BED Local, board meetings and public participation and related district administrative procedures and practices. Persons wanting to make a statement to the board are required to register with the superintendent's secretary 1 hour prior to the start of the scheduled meeting. Audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the early stages of a meeting. At all other times during a board meeting, the audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board unless requested. Each participant is limited to 2 minutes per meeting to make comments to the board. At regular board meetings, the board shall permit public comments regardless of whether the topic is an item on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. At all other board meetings, public comments shall be limited to only items on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. The board shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. If an issue mentioned is on tonight's agenda, the board will defer discussion of the issue until the appropriate time during the meeting. Should the speaker drift from the stated subject or becomes disruptive or abusive, he or she shall be given 1 warning. If a second warning is required, then the speaker may forfeit the remaining time allotment. The board shall not tolerate disruption of the meeting by members of the audience. The board has adopted complaint policies that are designed to secure at the lowest administrative level a prompt and equitable resolution of complaints and concerns. Please refer to the following policies. Student and/or parent complaints should refer to policy FNG. Employees refer to policy DGBA, and citizens can refer to policy GF. Copies of district policies are available on the McAllen ISD website at mcallenisd.org.
For the first speaker, we have Frank Chavedo. Mr. Chavedo, as soon as you begin speaking, your 2 minutes will start, and I will not interrupt you. You'll see the time, and that's when your time will end.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Madam President, school board members, interim superintendent, and others in attendance today. My name is Frank Chavedo, and I'm here to bring your attention to the presence of an unknown substance found from testing of the air and surfaces in one of the refurbished Portable buildings, specifically the Portable building assigned to the 7-time state champion and award-winning mariachi program, your Makai Mariachi Oro. I provided you with a series of pictures which include a petri dish with an unknown substance. Once this was brought to our attention, Ms. Beloya was informed, and over the course of a few days last week, she coordinated with the Director of Facilities who then instructed staff to perform a cleaning of the building. A professional environmental services company was contracted to perform an inspection of the building, and they also performed a test of the air quality and other services, and preliminary results have identified mildew as being present. Mildew refers to certain kinds of mold and fungus, and often lives in shower walls, windowsills, and other surfaces where moisture levels are high. Ms. Loya was also able to secure the approval of the purchase of 2 air purifiers, which will be installed in the portable building. Unfortunately, what our students and staff experienced last week is the latest example of the current state of affairs of what students and staff have had to endure these many years and wondering why they're getting sick. Respectfully, this is also a reminder to you or school board leaders for the desperate need for the immediate approval for the construction start on the buildings that will house the mariachi programs. We respectfully ask you, our elected leaders, to take action and approve the construction of the buildings with all the requested and necessary elements built in for our mariachi programs at each high school campus. The buildings will take years to build, and as a community, we would request your commitment today that during construction, the needs of our students will continue to be met and an interim solution be provided to ensure the safety, health, well-being, and welfare of our students and staff. I'd like to publicly thank Ms. Erin Tovar, Orchestra Director at McAllen, for being gracious in allowing the mariachi students to use the orchestra room last week to practice so as not to have the students and staff practice in the portable building. Lastly, as a community, we want to thank Ms. Loya for quickly responding to this matter. She continues to provide excellent customer service and demonstrates a commitment for the mariachi program and other programs in the Fine Arts Department. She is a consummate professional, truly committed public servant and leader. We ask for your continued support of her and her efforts to ensure that our students and staff are provided for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Number 2, we have Nedra Knurk. Mrs. Knurk, the same thing. You'll see the time on the clock, and I will not interrupt you.
I didn't hear all you said, Debbie.
I'm not going to interrupt you.
Oh.
Yes, just,
Okay, thank you.
yes.
I'm Nedra Knurk, President of Futura RGV, and we bring a number of questions and suggestions that we are hearing from our McAllen community. We remind the community and the school board of the importance of the position of the McAllen ISD superintendent. It's an important journey for you, our board, and we must make the best for the well-being and future of our children and our community. This is the leader for the best district in the valley. McAllen ISD is known for top quality. We have a good board of trustees for McAllen. Debbie Aliceta has said that you are always well prepared on all the issues. That's good. A top school district must have a nationwide search commitment for the superintendent. We assume that you will do a national search with a reliable national search firm. It is more efficient and much more effective way to get top talent. There's a lot of good people in the Rio Grande Valley, but we expect you to go further in the search for the best candidate. We strongly encourage a nationwide search. McAllen has always chosen top talent with a nationwide search, and we must know what talent is there that we could have. The search committee must be bigger than just the board. It needs to include community stakeholders as well. Our community expects transparency. This was an important point that was made at the school board candidate forums last spring. We and the community are waiting to learn the timeline to find the permanent replacement for our superintendent. Futura RGV is here to help if you identify a need that we can fill. We know you will do the right thing. So Futura RGV will support you in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Knurk. Number 3, Sarah Taylor. Hi, Mrs. Taylor. Again, you'll have the time, and I won't interrupt you.
Okay, thank you. It's my first visit here with the school board, and I'm happy to be here. I'm a business owner in McAllen. I have 4 school-age children, as you can see here behind me. I agree with the previous speaker that McAllen ISD is the best school board in the valley, the best school district in the valley. The problem that we have is with some of our facilities, in particular the row natatorium. All of my children are USA Swimming age group swimmers. Sloan here was the only swimmer in McAllen that went to the state meet tags in San Antonio, and she placed in the finals. So our problem is that the scheduling that has come for row for our team, our GVA, Coach Abel Gutierrez is the coach who's here in the back. Our children are being forced to swim from 8 to 10 p.m. So you can see that these little children can't really swim from 8 to 10 p.m. 5 days a week. It's not going to work. Club swimming is the future of swimming for our school district. The champs come from club swimming. These kids swim 5 days a week, year-round, 2 hours per day. So I ask you to work with us and consider better scheduling with the row natatorium. We have very limited facilities in the valley for swimming. The clubs in Mission, the clubs at FAR, the club teams get to finish by 7 p.m., so they swim from 5 to 7. We understand that's a shared facility with the high schools and the junior highs, but in previous years, we have been able to swim from 5:30 to 7:30. So I ask you to please work with the school, the high school coaches, and the scheduling, and to get an appropriate time for our age group swimmers so that they can represent the valley at state, at zones, and go on to swim at college. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Excuse me. We'll now go on to item number 5, the superintendent's report. Dr. Doyles.
We have one more.
Oh,
Yeah,
no?
we have number 4, number 5.
Yeah, there's
My
4.
apologies. Number 4,
He's already spoke, Frank.
Mr. Tavero's already spoken. Number 5,
Abel
Abel.
Gutierrez.
It's an additional item.
Yeah, but no, they're supposed to be combined.
Are you Abel Gutierrez? Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, I'm the head coach of a local swim club called RGVA. I'm a class graduate from McAllen Memorial class 2015. I swam there as well all 3 of my 4 years.
I see what you're saying.
As one of the leaders in the swimming community for club swimming, I am here to discuss and bring up a concern that the row facility is less available than what it has been in previous years. When I was in high school, the clubs were able to get into the water at 5:30. Last year, we were able to get into the water at 6, and now just some adjustment on what was previously said, we're able to get in at 7:15. We have a handful, not just my team, another local team, a handful of young kids. I have 75 in my beginner groups. I can't even fit them in 4 lanes, to be honest. But for them to start at 7:15 to 8:15 doesn't even give me time to consider my older athletes. A lot of my families today are in the McAllen School District area, and they are considering not swimming with us anymore. So the thing I ask you today is to consider that the club swimming is the future. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, maybe in 5 years. But that's where the high school athletes are coming from. So if they're not swimming today, they're not swimming next year, they don't swim next year with me because the times don't change and it's still too late for them. That means the future of McAllen swimming, some of it will be up to concern. Where are we going to lose those kids? They're going to go, which is great, they're going to go to another sport. Happy for them, but the swimming community is what I'm concerned about, and I'm here to speak for them so that we can get a better time, better opportunity for them. I just ask that that future be taken seriously. I'm just here to discuss for them and bring it up to them. I'm happy to work with them. They're great kids. Let's help them while they're young. I know they're not your high schoolers today, but in 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, they will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Mr. Chavero, would you want to speak again? You did sign up twice, but I believe you signed up on the exact same subject.
I was a different subject.
Okay, go ahead. We'll start your 2 minutes.
Appreciate it, thank you. Hello again, my name is Frank Chavetto. Today I want to ask about the progress of the buildings that will house some MITV programs at each high school campus. These buildings have been on the drawing board for over 2 years, and have gone through several iterations due to changes and different priorities with other individuals. Other programs have the equipment and infrastructure in place to have their programs highlighted. On the other hand, the MITV programs are located in 20-plus-year-old portable buildings that have been refurbished, or in smaller rooms in high school rooms, and essentially are not ideal for practice. However, despite these conditions, the MITV groups have continued to succeed. These facilities are outdated, in need of repair, and too small to meet the needs of these groups of young musicians. As a community, we say that now is the time to move ahead and have the executive leadership team to recommend to our elected leaders to approve these buildings with the necessary elements built in, and not remove any of the necessary elements. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chavetto. Item number 5, the superintendent's report. Dr. De Hoyos.
Yes, thank you. Recently, we had a 3-day differentiation for success conference for our teachers. Great strategies were shared on instructional practices. We have a short video on that event.
The last couple of days, teachers have been coming in and exploring ways to help students in their classroom find success. We know that teachers come into a classroom with students of differing needs. They have a variety of needs in their classrooms. And so it's very important that they can come to a place where they can collaborate with each other and talk about the different ways that we can help all children succeed, because here in McAllen, we want to make sure every single one of our students reach success.
This conference provides teachers with the opportunities to look at different types of learners and also different types of learning needs. One of the goals that we had at McAllen ISD is to be able to zero down on those particular strategies.
We know that the teacher is the variable. A teacher makes all the difference for a student. And if we make sure that our teachers' cup is full, that they have all the strategies they need, that they're prepared to meet the needs of every learner in their classroom, then we're doing the best that we can for our students and for our teachers.
We're one of the very few districts that offers this type of a conference, looking at each learner and looking at each of those needs, and start developing our teachers to know how to meet those needs for our students.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Can I just say one thing? Ran into a teacher who is not usually real engaged in a lot of stuff, but that teacher said, I had an amazing time and I learned something at this conference and I really liked that. So kudos, because, you know, I heard it from just this teacher that was just, it was good to hear from that teacher.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. We got great feedback on all 3 levels. The other item that I want to share is that there is a new law going into effect on Friday, September 1st, that will benefit deaf and hard of hearing drivers. Ms. Lisa Lara, our Director of Regional Day School Program for the Deaf, helped make this new law possible. We have a short video produced by KRGV, Channel 5, and we want to show it to y'all.
A new law designed to help the deaf and hard of hearing individuals across the state will take effect next month.
It'll help those in the community and law enforcement better communicate.
Channel 5's Sarah Civetta spoke with 2 people who say they will benefit.
Gabriel Gomez is hard of hearing. He says communicating with first responders is a challenge.
And I did try to gesture to him and explain to him a little bit that I was deaf. And so it was a little bit difficult to do that communication.
Gomez remembers one traffic stop where he says it was difficult to have a conversation with the police officer.
We tried a little bit with writing back and forth.
We want to make sure that police officers and even first responders are aware that if a person is deaf or hard of hearing,
Lisa Laura is the director of McAllen ISD's Regional School for the Deaf.
I'm passionate about this bill because I know that providing an optional deaf or hard of hearing identification will help promote the safety of all deaf or hard of hearing individuals.
She helped draft House Bill 3132. It's designed to help the deaf and hard of hearing during these situations.
that was a great opportunity for me to educate our lawmakers, and I explained to them the importance of always having interpreters on standby.
The new law will give the deaf and hard of hearing community the option to indicate on their driver's license if they are deaf or hard of hearing.
A deaf person shouldn't have to struggle to be able to express their needs.
McAllen Memorial High School teacher Beatrice Garcia is also hard of hearing. She says the law will help clear up any miscommunication.
Not all cops know and understand. Sometimes a cop will see deaf or hard of hearing and they still attempt to mouth or yell, and that's not helpful.
Currently on Ms. Garcia's license, it says that she has a hearing aid, but many individuals in the deaf community say that's not enough to identify and ensure there's not going to be confusion, especially if they're being pulled over by first responders.
In the deaf and hard of hearing community, they don't all use hearing aids. We don't hear the sirens during those situations.
The new law will take effect September 1st. Gomez says he's looking forward to making the change.
So I am I'm happy that it's a safer opportunity for people out in the community, not just for myself, but for all of us. Having that smooth, effective communication is key.
Sarah Cervera, Channel 5 News at 6.
With that wonderful news, we'll move to item number 6, proclamation. No.
Oh, something else.
Discussion and possible action to adopt the proclamation regarding Deaf Awareness Month.
Sorry.
Dr. De Hoyos.
Yes, thank you. Administration would like to raise awareness regarding deaf individuals by proclaiming September as a Deaf Awareness Month. Mr. Mark May, Director of Marketing and Communication Department, will introduce our students, and Mrs. Debbie Crane Aliceda, Board President, will read the proclamation.
Before we do that, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Saldivar, seconded by Trustee Pena. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Yes.
He's going to read the students.
Yes.
He's going to call the kids.
Yes. Please, you call the children first. I'm sorry. You can call the children first, and then Ms. Elizondo, if you want to say something, and then I'll do the proclamation. Y'all can go down. Yeah, y'all go and shake.
Yeah, Maria.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Well, Ms. Aliceda, I believe it was 6-0,
okay.
the vote. 6-0.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
I'll wait till everybody comes in, and then I'll read the
All
proclamation.
right, let's start off with student Il Gomez Gutierrez in 6th grade. Now we have Ariana Rivera, 3rd grader. Cadence Denson, 4th grade. Alexander Sanchez, 11th grade. Leah Mancha, ESC, she's in our Head Start 3. Idalia Salazar, instructional strategist. Robin Ellis, instructional strategist. Romualdo Guerrero, instructional assistant. Dr. Maggie Acosta, interim executive director for special education. Lisa Lara, director for the Regional Day School Program for the Deaf. And Stephanie Rodriguez, student support specialist.
It's my honor to read the proclamation. The proclamation reads, State of Texas, County of Hidalgo, McAllen Independent School District. Whereas the deaf population includes a wide range of individuals, from those that are born profoundly deaf and use sign language as a primary means of communication, to those with a degree of hearing loss who use hearing aids or other forms of amplification and communication modes. And whereas the purpose of Deaf Awareness Month is to raise awareness of the issues and the culture of the people who are deaf and hard of hearing, and to promote equal access to information, educational programs, resources, and services for deaf individuals. And whereas we celebrate the many unique and individual achievements of people who are deaf and hard of hearing, and we thank the many professionals and educators dedicated to assisting and educating individuals who are deaf and hard of hearing. Now, therefore, I, Debbie Crane Aliceda, President, Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District, do hereby proclaim that the month of September 2023 be observed as Deaf Awareness Month. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the McAllen Independent School District to be affixed on this 29th day of August, and it is attested to by our Board Secretary, Trustee Pena.
All right, straight ahead. Big smiles, everyone. Just like that. Very good. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Very good. Thank you.
So much. So kind.
Yeah. don't think it has this. Here. I do. No, it has your name on it. Don't bring it to me.
It's okay.
It has your name on it.
Oh. Because of the spelling. He was.
Good job, Lisa.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, that's wonderful. Okay, we are now at item number 7, the public hearing to discuss the proposed 2023 interest and seeking tax rate. Dr. De Hoyos.
Welcome to the public hearing. This hearing will be discussing the proposed 2023 interest and sinking tax rate. Mrs. Adele Felix, Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations, will proceed with the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. De Hoyos. On August 18, 2023, we republished our proposed tax rate. Our maintenance and operations tax rate of 84.48 cents, as well as our interest and sinking tax rate of 15.63 cents, for a total tax rate of $1.0011, matching what was previously total tax rate published on June 2nd, 2023. On August 16th, 2023, we adopted the maintenance and operations tax rate of 0.8448. Tonight, we will request the interest and sinking rate to be adopted at 0.1563 cents later tonight. Thank you, and that concludes the public hearing.
And now we will have, do we need public comments? Yes. So now we will have public comments. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to come up and speak? Ms. Lemez, yes or no? Are we going to go to, yes? Thank you, Mr. May, never mind. Okay, as there are no public comments, we will move to item number 8. Recognitions, there are none. Number 9, donations, there are none. Number 10, consent agenda items. Items 10A through
10J.
10J. 10G. G? No, one second. J. 10A through 10J. Do I hear a motion?
Madam President, I move to approve.
Second. It's been moved by Trustee Regalado, second by Trustee Peña. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item number 11, instruction, instructional leadership, human resources, district operations, business operations, and board of trustee items. Item 11A, instruction items, there are none. Item 11B, human resource items. 11B1, discussion and possible action of the job description for innovative instruction leader teacher. Dr. De Hoyos.
Thank you. The Innovative Instruction Lead Teacher will work collaboratively with campus teachers and administrators to improve the effectiveness of campus instructional initiatives relevant to the core curriculum that accelerates students' performance. Mr. Todd Miller, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, and Mrs. Maribel Elizondo, Interim Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, are available to answer questions. Administration is recommending action on this item.
Any discussion? This is for action. I move we pass the job description for innovative instruction lead teacher.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Aliceda, second by Trustee DeVetta. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item 11B2, discussion and possible action of the job description for instructional coach science interventionist K through 5. Dr. De Hoyos.
The district science kinder through 5th grade instructional coach will support supplemental science instruction and interventions aligned with the district science curriculum in English and Spanish. Mr. Todd Miller, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, and Mrs. Maribel Elizondo, Interim Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, are available to answer questions. Administration is recommending action on this item.
Madam President, I move to approve the job description for instructional coach science interventionist K through 5.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Peña, second by Trustee Regalado. All in favor?
I do have a question.
Go ahead, Mr.
What's the salary range on this?
It's a teacher's pay scale, sir.
Okay. And is It's under 199, or is it different funding?
211 fund.
211, okay.
211, 197, I believe.
Okay. Thank you.
Or 197 days, right? So 211.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor by trustee Pena, a second by trustee DeVetta. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item 11C, District Operations, 11C1, discussion and possible action on bid number 2023-1038, sale of real property, South 17th Street rebid, and approval of resolution number 2024-124, Millis Real Estate Group, LLC, the sale of South 17th Street. Dr. De Hoyos.
Administration solicited bids for the sale of this property and received one offer. Mrs. Adele Felix, Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations, will share more information, and administration is recommending action on this item.
Thank you. We sent out 296 vendors were invited to submit a bid for the sale of the said property. The minimum bid required was $560,775, and we received one bid for $561,000 from Millis Real Estate Group. We've followed up on the intent, and knowing that there's a charter restriction, and they're aware, as far as a historical designation as well, they are aware of that as well.
Madam
We are
President?
asking for-
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No.
What is the proposed closing date?
After this, we have a 10-day timeline to execute, and I can get you that timeline.
I was just curious.
I was under the understanding, too, that there may be an inspection aspect to it. In other words, to finalize the actual closing, they wanted an inspection of it
Well,
first.
after we approve this portion, we do have a timeline to follow as far as, we have collected their escrow to make sure that their bid was serious. I'll follow up with that inspection, and I'll get back to you.
Again, I'm not asking for it or anything, it's just
Oh, no,
my
but I can
understanding
give you
the
timeline.
buyer was the one. So. And you don't need to let me know, I just was asking. I move to approve the sale as proposed, Madam President.
It's been moved by trustee Saldivar, second by trustee Del Garza. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
And
passes 6-0.
I just want to say the Millis Realty Group has been huge at transforming Old Town McAllen and a lot of the old facilities and buildings and transforming them. You know, Southern Roots building, the Modern Vintage on Main, Nicole Gates Photography also on Main Street. And this is their forte. They love revitalizing old buildings in McAllen. So when I heard that they were the ones that bid on this, I was very excited because I know that they're not ones to just tear down. And obviously, given the historic designation, they can't tear down. So it's really exciting to see what ideas they come up with. So
that was one of our, what are you going to do with it, right?
Right.
So it was to restore it.
Right, absolutely.
Beautiful.
And she saves everything, nails, doorknobs, hinges, and so you will see how all of that is reworked into the remodeled building. And so I'm really excited, and I hope for us and for them that it works out.
That's wonderful. Item number 11D, Business Operations. 11D1, report regarding taxes collected for July 2023. Dr. De Hoyos.
Mrs. Adele Felix, Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations, will report on the monthly taxes collected by the Hidalgo County Tax Office on behalf of McAllen ISD for July 2023. This item is for information purposes only.
Thank you, Dr. De Hoyos. For the month of July 2023, we've collected delinquent taxes collected to date is $457,484.03. If compared to prior year percentage, we are comparable at 6.59 to 7.35%. That concludes this report.
Thank you. We will now go to item 11D2, report regarding annual tax collections for the period of July 1, 2022 to June 30, 2023. Dr. De Hoyos.
Mrs. Eva Mireles, Chief of Operations from the Hidalgo County Tax Office, will present the annual tax collections for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30, 2023. This item is for information purposes only.
Good evening, Madam President and members of the board. Always great to visit again. It's been a while since I haven't been here. On behalf of Mr. Pavia Real, I just want to say that, I want to thank McAllen School District because McAllen School District, believe it or not, was one of our first entities that we actually went into consolidation. For those of you that might not know this, was actually one of our very first entities that we went into consolidation. So we take a lot of pride because once McAllen School District took trust in us, then other entities followed. So thank you for that trust. And so we've taken a lot of pride that, you know, we've been in business, you know, and we hope that we continue being in business, and our collections, you know, speak for themselves. So thank you.
That's wonderful.
So now I will go into the presentation. Tab 1, I hope we have it, I don't know if we have it, okay? So tab 1, collected for the 2020-23 fiscal year, we collected for base, penalty and interest and attorney fees, $97,591,000. And total dispersed after, of course, attorney fees and refunds was a total of $97,418,142. Under tab 2, moving on to tab 2. Is a graph. Tab 2 is the collections here that we have. Can you go back to actually, there's a comparison. This one right here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And there you go. And it's on tab 2.
Well, they sent me 3 pages. No, they didn't send me that page.
I thought I saw that page.
It's the first one that you
And it's
brought.
on, unless it's on tab 1.
Let me put it from the.
I thought I saw that page, man.
There's a couple of them, but one's under part 2, I thought.
Yeah, because I have it on tab 2.
It's in the full packet.
And the reason that I want to go, and the reason I want to go over this because very important that I want to go over this because
They're going to do great things.
last year we had a levy. Do you all have it on your packet?
Not that full, they have the full packet, but the 3 pages.
So do you all have this on your packet? Maybe we can go over it.
I see something on page 75. I can't tell from here if it's the same one. Is it the same one?
Yes,
75? Okay.
775 in our packet.
So do you all have it on your packet?
Yes. Yes, we do.
So I'll go over it if you have it on your packet.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you see for 2021, the levy was 90 million, okay? And then for 2022 and 23 was 96 million. So basically what we're saying is that the levy was more, a difference of 6,131,000. So there was more levy. So that was more collections for the McAllen School District. And then, of course, after modifications and so forth, collected to date, last year for the 2021, we collected to date 90 million. And then for 2022, we collected 94 million. So what does that say? Of course, last year, the percentage of collection was 97.42 because we had less levy to collect. Versus this year, we collected 94 million. We collected more because we had more levy to collect. So collected to date on percentage, well, last year we collected 97.42. This year we collected 96.99. So you'll see a slight difference in the percentage of collection, but keep in mind that there was more levy to collect.
Right.
You know, so just understand that there was a $6 million difference, the bigger the pie to collect. So I'm so sorry that it's not there, but you know.
No, it's there.
Now we can discuss the graph, so we can look at the graph. So the graph is a 5-year comparison, and that gives us a clear view of, you know, and if you look at the parcels, there's not too much difference on the number of the parcels. So what does that say? It's not rocket science that everybody knows appraisal values have been going up. That's what it means, basically, that you see the difference in why is there so much difference in the levy is because values are going up. And it's going to have a significant impact again this coming year. So basically, the way I showed you right now, from the 90 million to the 96 million, we're going to see that difference again this coming year, where there is going to be a significant difference. Parcels, there might be more parcels. We're clearly seeing it. There's more infrastructure. There's more homes. There's more apartments, more business. So there might be a difference in more parcels. But definitely there's going to be an increase out there in levy. But the percentage in difference did go down slightly, but we did collect more money and more revenue for the McAllen School District. So moving on to the delinquents. On the delinquent side, which will be tab 3, so keep in mind on the delinquent, because we collect so much current, there's not a lot of leftover for the delinquent side, because we're collecting more currents. That's a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. So on the delinquent side, there was not that much outstanding compared to last year. So on the delinquent side, if on the 5-year comparison, oh, there it is. On the delinquent side, and they didn't give me the delinquent side. I'm only looking at the graph.
Okay.
On the delinquent side, last year we had an outstanding of 7 million. So there was more delinquent last year. And this year we had less delinquent outstanding, which was good. So we had less to collect on the delinquent side, or the delinquent attorneys had less to collect, which is good. So of course, the percentage of collection was less because they had less to collect. And I believe they're going to be here next week or sometime to do their presentation. But we're seeing an overall, if you look at the percentage, that their percentage of collections are decreasing because their outstanding is getting less and less to collect. So, and then the rest is just, year-to-date recaps, modifications, just backup, recap reports. But overall, we're doing, our team at our office, our call centers have been doing good. We haven't seen any, but in years back, we were seeing a lot of rollback, a lot of refunds. We haven't seen significant amounts of that to make an impact for the district. We hope not to see that, this coming year, but other than that, our team has been doing good. So, any questions that you might have?
Looks good. No questions? We're good?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hopefully we don't keep waiting too long.
Item 11D3, discussion and possible action on a resolution for adopting the 2023 interest and seeking tax rate. Dr. De Hoyos.
The Truth in Taxation, the Texas Education Code and Board Policy CCG legal require districts to set the tax rate for the current tax year. Administration is requesting the approval and adoption of the resolution for the 2023 interest and sinking tax rate. A record vote is required. Mrs. Adele Felix, Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations, is available to answer any questions, and administration is recommending action on this item.
I have a question, Madam President. What would the tax rate be if we do not approve the resolution and not take on the 8 cents?
It would reduce, I have that. It would be reduction of 8. Sorry.
Okay. I guess the better question is what would be the, right now the tax rate is we're moving forward is 1.0011. What would it be without, just to be sure?
Without, let's do my calculator real quick. Without the INS 8, right?
Yes, ma'am. We're still hopeful on the divider, and that's a
Correct.
separate deal, and that's 4.14.
4.14. It would be 0.9206.
0.92,
06 would be the total tax rate.
and that includes the hope for the divider as well.
Correct. If that did not,
Yes,
0.8792.
0.8792, and this is per $100 evaluation.
Correct.
All right, so in the example we've been using, it's $213,000 as an average home. I got asked the question on the air, I said, what if the house was $100,000? Well, I didn't want to say that 100 would be zero because of the.
It'll be zero.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yes.
But we're using the $213,000. I already take into account the $100,000 homestead. So what would it be then?
It would be a decrease of a total, with everything, with a current rate of 1.0011, with the possible defeats and the VATRE, we're looking at $1,000, and a yearly variance from last year, it would be a decrease of $753 over last year's tax rate.
Okay.
Annual.
Okay. But with the adding the 8 cents, because right now we're at 0.06 and change, and now we're adding 0.08 and change. So it comes out to 15 and change. You know, we discussed it a moment ago.
Correct.
What's the amount on that part?
That's
on the INS?
$40 a year, $40 a year,
Per household?
for a household of $200,000.
Yeah, so obviously if it's zero, it's zero. If
Correct.
it's anything more, it'll be proportional. Did we ever find out, aside from the homestead, obviously it doesn't apply, for the businesses, what might that look like?
For it'd be the same rate, right? As far as business exemptions, they all vary by business, right, as far as what they qualify for, but they would be taxed at the same rate that we're setting now.
Gotcha, sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? This is a two-part motion. It's on page
I just put it as.
Packet is 92.
92. Which I just lost.
I will say I do have a hard time with the 8 cents. I will say I do, because we're going for a VIDER at the 4.14, so that's required under the statute, 88th legislation, Senate Bill 3. If we're going to do anything regarding holdback or increase, we had to go to the voter. Is that correct? That's what we're.
For the VATR, yes, we do have to go to voters. As far as the 0.8 cents, it's a interest savings of $1.7 million, and the fact that if nothing is done, then we can lessen the number of years that we can assess this tax.
But we're going to have to do this over the next 3-year period each year.
It could be
or
an
once we
annual
do-
decision. If we do it this year, we don't have to do it next year. It'd be a choice, but then we do reevaluate the same, but we would do it.
So this action is only for 1 year?
Correct. This
That's the way I
action is only for
understood it.
1 year.
And the administration was recommending over the next 3 years, or at least it was showing us in the example,
I was showing,
if we wanted to
the
do
effect,
that.
what would happen, and what would happen every year if that were to happen, it would decrease the number of extensions of the years, right? So if we decided to do a defeasance next year as well, then that would shorten that timeline, and that outstanding debt could be paid in 3 years, and saving millions in interest.
We have approximately 6 years left,
Till 2030,
right? And the principal is around 40 million.
correct.
With interest, as I understood in the interest, looking at the board pack, it was a little over 45 million, más o menos. Is that correct?
That would, yes, I recall.
And so what we're trying to do is that roughly $5 million, obviously the principal is the principal, is trying to reduce that and compress the number of payments?
So what happens is those 8 additional pennies, that money goes into an escrow. We earn interest. At the rates that we're seeing right now, we're seeing over 4.5% to 5% interest rates. Now, those, you know, they're volatile, right, as they move. But right now, we could save 1.7 in interest alone by earning that interest and paying off principal on the subsequent months. I get it roll.
That's okay. Actually, I understand you better.
That's better, yes.
So you go this way, you go this
So it
way,
means
right?
this.
So, yes, that's, but this is an annual thing, so this is only the rate for this current year. Next year, if we choose not to, then we don't have to carry on, and then those pennies go back.
Yeah, I've always had a difficult time about, even when we did the catastrophe and the like, you know, it just really troubled me, especially when the damages weren't significant, you know. So anyway, I just, thank you, appreciate it.
Any further discussion? I would like to entertain a motion. It is a two-part motion. Page 92 of your packet.
Madam President, I move that the Board of Trustees adopt the resolution as presented, making certain findings under the Texas Education Code, Section 45.001A2, and Texas Education Code Section 45.0021. The board must levy interest in sinking fund taxes in an amount sufficient to pay the principal and interest on district-issued general obligation bonds before the principal and interest due on such bonds, which will become due during the 2023-2024 budget year.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Rivera, second by trustee Regalado. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-1.
Madam President, and I further move that the district's debt service interest and sinking fund tax rate on the $100 valuation adopted and levied for the tax year beginning on January 1st, 2023, and ending on December 31st, 2023, in the amount of 0.1563 cents on a $100 valuation payable in lawful currency of the United States is levied for the support and maintenance of the public schools of the McAllen Independent School District.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Rivera, second by trustee Regalado. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-1. Item number 11E, Board of Trustee items. Approval of the Board of Education meeting minutes, item 11E, 1A through H.
Madam President, I move to approve the Board of Trustees, Board of Education meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Regalado, second by trustee Rivera. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Item 12, recess to closed session. Board of Trustees may go into closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, and 551.089 Texas Government Code to discuss the following. 12A, discussion of human resources recommendations for the school year 23-24. 12B, discussion of human resources employee resignations and retirees for school year 23-24. Discussion of recommendation for the Director of Accountability. Discussion to accept resignation of Superintendent Dr. J.A. Gonzalez. Discussion of current agreement with interim superintendent. Consultation with attorney regarding resignation of Superintendent Dr. J.A. Gonzalez and current agreement with interim superintendent. Discussion regarding school safety and security. Consultation with the attorney concerning legal issues of 23-24 internal audit plan. Pending and/or potential litigation and possible real estate acquisition. At 5:54, the board will be going into closed session, and we will move into the superintendent's office.
Item 14.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back from closed session. It is 8:21 PM, and we are back in reconvening in open session. Item number 14, action of items in closed session. 14A, discussion and possible action of human resources recommendations for the school year 23-24. Dr. De Hoyos.
Human Resources is submitting a list of recommendations for the 2023-2024 school year under separate cover that were discussed during closed session. Administration is recommending action on this item.
Madam President, I move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Regalado, second by trustee De La Garza. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. 14B, discussion of human resources employee resignations and retirees for school year 23-24. Dr. De Hoyos.
Human Resources is submitting a list of resignations and retirees for the 2023-2024 school year under a separate cover that were discussed during closed session. This item is for information purposes only.
Item 14C, discussion of recommendation for the Director of Accountability. Dr. De Hoyos.
Administration recommends the approval of Christian Quintanilla for Director of Accountability. Administration is recommending action on this item.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee De La Garza, second by trustee Peña. All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Item 14D, discussion and possible action to accept the resignation of Superintendent Dr. J.A. Gonzalez.
I move to accept the resignation of Dr. Gonzalez.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Saldivar and second by trustee Peña. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Oh, I am so sorry, Ms. Quintanilla. I did not know you were in the back. Congratulations so much. Thank you, trustee Peña. My apologies. We are now on to item 14E, discussion and possible action on current agreement with interim superintendent. There is no action on this item. 14F, discussion regarding school safety and security. There is no action on this item. 14G, discussion and possible action on 2023-2024 internal auditor plan. There is no action on this item. Item 14H, pending and/or potential litigation. Mr. Saldana.
None, only as discussed, no action.
And possible real estate acquisition.
None, Madam President.
Thank you so much. 15, schedule of future meetings. We have a board workshop on Monday, September 11th, here at 4 p.m. here in the Dr. Ricardo Chapo boardroom. We have our regular board meeting Monday, September 11th at 5 p.m. here in the Dr. Ricardo Chapo boardroom. And we have another regular meeting on Monday, September 25th at 5 p.m. in the Dr. Ricardo Chapo boardroom. Please, everybody, remember that Monday, September 4th is a holiday, Labor Day. Do not bring your children to school.
Come to work.
And item number 16, adjournment. Who would like?
Moved.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee De La Garza and second by trustee Saldivar. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are now adjourned. Super, no, I forgot, I don't need a motion to adjourn, do I?
8:24. Not
8:24.
You don't necessarily, but it's always good to have it.
Thank you, everybody. So sorry for the late hour.
Yep.
I remember, so I was like.